Hi, this is Jeff Zeig, 2018, with another 5-minute tips for therapists. I want to talk about a verbal pattern, a pattern that I've learned and a pattern that I've incorporated into my speaking, and a pattern that shows up not only in speech but also shows up in music. And this is a pattern that is used so that people can experientially realize some of the things that they already know. The pattern is called recursions. Now, when I started learning hypnosis, in 1972. And one of the things that I was encouraged to do was to use repetition, that repetition reinforced a hypnotic suggestion. So you would say to a client in the deepening phase of hypnosis, go deeply, soundly, comfortably asleep, deeper, deeper, deeper and deeper. And you would use repetition, for example, even with a problem like stopping smoking. Cigarettes will taste bad, cigarettes will smell bad. Cigarettes will taste bad, they will smell bad. And I thought that repetition was something that was really a necessity. But then as I started to study art, especially as I started to study music, I realized that there's a pattern of recursion. A theme is presented, for example, Beethoven's Fifth, which is 1, 2, 3 down. And that theme opens up the Fifth Symphony, but when it's the second iteration is slightly different. The third iteration is slightly different. Those of you who know to play music, if you're playing a tune on the piano, there's a theme, and then you repeat the theme, but when you repeat the theme, perhaps the second time, perhaps the third time, there's a slight variation. Now, these recursions are used by professional speakers. Bill Clinton, President Clinton, is one of the most artful speakers that I've ever seen. And what he would do is he would use recursions as part of his speech. So perhaps he's talking to a group and he says, what we need to do is we need to understand how to make our economy work on sound principles. We need to know what we will do that is based in the research in fiscal policy. We need to understand how the economic principles that guide us are the principles that move our economy. Now, basically, I just said the same thing 3 times, but with slightly different iterations. And not only is this effective, it's also charming. People get a little bit mesmerized, and they have a better way of incorporating the concept that it is that you're talking about. So, for example, if I was doing hypnosis and I wasn't suggesting somebody to be relaxed, because I don't think relaxation is a necessity or a foundation of hypnosis, but maybe I was talking about a sensation of comfort. I might say to a client, you can go inside. As you go inside, as you grow inside, there can be a sensation of ease, a sensation of being at peace with yourself, a feeling of well-being, a realization of comfort. Now, basically, I'm using this pattern of recursions. And what's happened to me as I recognized the importance of recursions, both in music and in public speaking, that this has become part of my way of teaching. It's become part of my way of doing hypnosis. It's become part of my way of doing therapy. And using recursions is a very artful pattern by which you're taking a simple idea and making that idea come 3-dimensionally alive. And yes, this might be something that you would have to practice a little bit in your working memory, but pretty soon it seeps itself effortlessly into your procedural memory. And I find myself doing this with friends and with family, not out of any manipulative design, but because it's a way of being artistic in communication. It's a way of communicating with expressive joy and helping people to feel that I'm more involved and more attentive in the process of communicating with them. So, therapy tip, 5-minute tip for therapists. think about recursions, practice recursions, understand how recursions can be beneficial in any form of human communication. This is Jeff Zeig, Phoenix, Arizona, at the offices of the Milton Erickson Foundation. Thank you.
You know, we're such a powerful force in our clients' lives. When they come and they trust us, they bring that vulnerability to us. And then can we hold that hope at a time when they can't? Can we know how to create the direction for them when they can't?
As long as men's trained, women are living with it and just say that's how he is and that's how men are, you know, we can preserve patriarchy intact. And so part of this conversation is maybe this is the beginning somewhere yet again of the end of patriarchy.
In this moment with you right now, what am I going to be loyal to? Am I going to be loyal to my grudge? Am I going to be loyal to my point, my righteous indignation, my wounds, my triggering? Or am I going to be loyal to you and to this relationship?
The victim can say, I just can't do this, I hate you, I can't be near you, can't touch you. That can happen. But wait, the perpetrator can say, I don't dig this any longer, I don't want to be the bad guy, I don't want to be the person who's always being angry at. They could get out of this thing too. So the therapist has to really hold these two. But if you want to hang in there, if you want to do this, I promise you, this relationship will be unlike it ever was. I promise that.